BBC News at 8 o'clock on Tuesday the 27th of September. Good morning, this is Claire Runacres. Some lenders have taken mortgage deals off the market after the pound plummeted. Conservative MPs are said to be worried about the scale of adverse market reaction to the Chancellor's mini-budget, and NASA scientists have successfully crashed a spacecraft into a small asteroid. An anxious start to trading on the Asian markets has seen the pound begin to claw back some of its losses. Sterling climbed to $1.08 a short while ago after it had slumped to an all-time low yesterday. But banks here remain nervous about the impact of the Chancellor's mini-budget last week and have started withdrawing some mortgage products. Here's our business correspondent, Darshini David.
Statements made by the Treasury and the Bank of England to reassure the markets have had only a muted response, with the value of sterling remaining close to its lowest level against the dollar in decades, having lost a fifth of its value against that currency this year. Investors continue to worry about the affordability and impact of the government's £45 billion package of tax cuts. The Chancellor has promised more details on his strategy, but not until November. Economists fear that could still mean an emergency interest rate hike in the meantime to steady the market.
Conservative MPs are said to be worried about the scale of the adverse market reaction to the mini-budget. The pound hit a record low against the dollar yesterday before regaining some ground. Here's Newsnight's Nick Watt.
The adverse market reaction to the Chancellor's tax cuts has prompted a flurry of texting and calls amongst Conservative MPs. A leadership challenge is not in the air, but there are serious questions about the government's economic strategy. From Number 10, the message is, don't judge a major shift in economic strategy on the basis of a first round of tax cuts. Wait for more pro-growth measures. But the mood has not been helped by a YouGov poll in The Times, which gives Labour a 17-point lead.
The Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, will use his speech at the party conference today to accuse the Conservatives of having lost control of the economy. He'll tell delegates in Liverpool that Labour is now the party of financial responsibility. A former soldier accused of murder over the deaths of two men on Bloody Sunday is due to have his criminal case reactivated in a court in Londonderry this morning. The Parachute Regiment shot dead 13 people during a civil rights demonstration in the Bogside area of the city 50 years ago. Crown lawyers have reconsidered a decision to drop the case against the veteran, known as Soldier F, following legal action by bereaved relatives. Campaigners against domestic violence have called for more help for victims of coercive and controlling behaviour after a new study found it was a factor in more than half of cases where people were killed by a current or ex-partner. At the same time, a poll carried out for BBC News suggests a third of women aged 25 to 64 have experienced some form of this abuse. Flags at royal residences are returning to full mast as the official period of mourning ends for Queen Elizabeth's family and staff. Buckingham Palace has revealed the King's new cipher, the monogram of his initials, which will be his emblem. Our royal correspondent Daniel Ralph has more details.
The cipher for the King will display the initials C and R for Charles and his title Rex, Latin for King. Sitting above the entwined initials will be a representation of the crown. A Scottish version will feature the Scottish crown. Over time, the design will be used on government buildings, state documents and some postboxes. New banknotes featuring King Charles will enter circulation by the middle of 2024.
NASA scientists have successfully crashed a spacecraft into a small asteroid, aiming to push it off course. The mission is the first test of a technique which could one day be used to defend Earth from a hazardous approaching asteroid. One of the engineers who worked on the mission, Dr. Elena Adams, described how she felt as she watched the collision.
Terror and joy at the same time, because we saw that we were going to impact. This asteroid was coming into the field of view for the first time. We really had no idea what to expect. We didn't really know the shape of the asteroid, but we knew we were going to hit. So I think all of us were kind of holding our breaths. I'm kind of surprised none of us passed out, actually.
Let's take a look at the weather now, and it'll be showery with just a few brighter spells in places. Breezy for all, with strong gusts in the west. Showers will be most frequent for the north, and later the far southwest will see rain. Temperatures reaching 16 Celsius in Cardiff, 15 in London and 13 in Edinburgh and Belfast. BBC News, it's 8:05.
Thank you, Claire.
BBC Radio 2. Listen live on the BBC Sounds app. The Zoe Ball Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Caped Crusaders. How a superhero-like are we feeling this morning? I hope you're having a good one today for a Tuesday the 27th of September already. Panic. It is the premiere for a new dance production inspired by Peaky Blinders in Birmingham tonight, on stage at the Hippodrome until the 2nd of October. Then it's coming down to London City. Do you think you could be the next Prime Minister? What a job, especially right now. Make Me Prime Minister starts on Channel 4 tonight at 9:15. Straight after Bake Off, 12 people try to prove they're the right person to become the PM. Jackie Weaver is one of them.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver.
Well, she does now. I'm very much looking forward to that. It's Barry White for you.
I'm like a blind